think most people are aware of emotional intelligence and what, it's that skill that leaders need after they've gotten in the door and they've, their technical skills have been shown. So emotional intelligence, very quickly, right? Am I aware that I have my own emotions, right? Second part, can I self-regulate? If I'm going into a meeting that I know that is heated, can I stay calm? Then there's the other part of emotional intelligence that says, I'm dealing with other individuals who are having an emotional experience, right? And then the next part is, can I help kind of self-regulate, co-regulate with them? You're not manipulating them. You're not trying to, unduly influence them. But really, you see somebody having a hard time, or can you excite people? So emotional intelligence really is those 4 different components. This is Daniel Goleman. So when have you seen a leader have this sort of emotional impact, this emotional intelligence on a team?
Yeah, so for me, I think about it's sort of like reading the room. Really, being aware is how people sort of often refer to it. But I think back to a time when I'd just signed for Fulham, and Kevin Keegan was the manager. And we used to train at the Bank of England, so we'd all the players would have lunch, and then you'd walk through the bar and then go home. But a group of us, sort of senior players, if you like, would we'd have our lunch, and then we'd stop in the bar and order a pot of tea, and we'd sit down and just have a chat, basically, because we didn't want to go home shopping with the wives or whatever it might have been. So we'd sit down and have a chat, and then Kevin used to walk past then, Kevin Keegan, and he'd be like, oh, there's the engine room, like running the club, and we go, yes, Gaffer, it is. And we were a group of senior players, so we were very influential in that changing room, to be honest. And he saw that. So after a while, he started pulling up a chair and like, right, who's getting the muffins? We go, you are. So he'd go and get the cakes and whatever. And he would just sit down and be part of the conversation, be part of the chat. And on quite a few occasions, he would then go off and would implement some of the things or the ideas that we'd brought across in our conversation with him. And for me, that was really, really powerful. I mean, for us as a group of players, we felt like we had a voice, and we had a manager who cared, who actually listened, and would at times, I mean, sometimes we say, oh, we need 3 weeks off and this and that, obviously some stupid stuff, but quite often it was some good stuff that we would talk about, and to see him implement that was really, really good, and was just, for me, was a good way of leadership.
Yeah. When I look at the arc of this, right, him seeing you guys meeting as a team or as this group of senior players coming in, taking the emotional temperature of it, going from that to then pulling up a chair, him buying muffins, right, and then actually taking and listening and taking those ideas that you had and implementing them. The amount of emotional intelligence in that to build your trust, to gain it, and then to do something because of what you guys are saying. You think about any great leader then, like, are you doing that, right? Are you gaining that trust with people? Are you sitting down? Are you listening? And I think that's the emotional capacity of leaders that we see as really important, in this world of, how do you create high-performing teams? Do that.
I mean, it made sure that there was that alignment between the manager and the senior players. And then because there was that common understanding then and sort of agreement about how we were going to go about things, then we policed and ran the changing room as well then for Kevin. Because sometimes, as a leader, as a manager, you're not always on the shop floor, so you need to rely on other people to be giving that message that you want brought across. So again, it's just a very simple but clever way of doing it, and it had the desired effect.